How's it going, guys and gals? This is Anthony. Today we're back at it with a new video on the channel where we'll be reviewing nights 1 and 2 of SummerSlam 2026. And before I continue, if you like this type of content, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So we've got the match card for both nights. Night 1 kicked off with the Women's World Championship match, where Liv Morgan defended the title against Iyo Sky, the Queen of the Ring, that challenged Liv Morgan right after beating her in the Queen of the Ring finals, which made no sense at all for Liv to be in the tournament, other than the fact that Becky was feuding with Sol Ruka and Baker was injured. As a matter of fact, I am recording this before Monday Night Raw, so if Baker returned, I do not know. I am recording this at Monday morning at 3 in the morning, so just because I watched some matches back, so you have this video on Tuesday afternoon. So, because I decided to watch some matches back to add to the review, to give my thoughts on. Man, like Liv and Iyo work really good together. We saw it back on the Queen of the Ring finals. We saw it on the return of Saturday Night's Main Event back on December 2024. The problem I have with this match, it's too short. When I felt that the match was on a crescendo, it stopped. Like you know how the structure of a story is. You know, you have introduction, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution, right? It's just like when the match reaches that climax, it stopped there instead of going into falling, resolution, ending. You know, like and there's a couple of matches here that felt that way, but you know, Liv gave the code breaker, double oblivion, 1, 2, 3. She retained the title. I had Iyo winning this match, but if Baker returns on Monday, then this could make sense. The second match here was the Usos and Jacob Fatu versus Royce, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa. I mean, this was a normal 6-man tag. You know, like babyface shine, heel gets hit on babyface number 1. Hot tag, babyface shines, hit on babyface number 2. Hot tag, babyface shines. Back and forth, and the babyfaces win after LA Knight pinned Jey Uso. And I love how Solo did the Let's Run It Back for Jay Stimson. I thought that was hilarious. I've said it for years. Solo Sikoa was a bad heel, because back on NXT we saw he had charisma as a babyface, and I don't understand why they were hiding that forever since he came up to the main roster. And now we are seeing it. The people are buying into him as a babyface. So sometimes just stick with what works from NXT. It's simple. If someone has charisma on NXT, let it shine. Don't make him a stoic person. You know, especially after WrestleMania 40, which is like, you know what I mean? But next up, we had Fatal Influence versus the Bella Twins and Paige. I mean, I wasn't paying. I did not pay attention to this match. You know, Brie messed up her shoulder. Speedy recovery for Brie. Everybody and their mama knew that the Bellas were gonna turn here. So that's why I have Fatal Influence winning. Oh, by the way, in the second match, I had the Bloodline winning, but the babyfaces won. So I'm 0 for 2 on night one. But here I got the prediction right. Fatal Influence defeated the Bella Twins and Paige, and the Bellas turned on Paige. But now, apparently, with Brie being out of action, the feud's gonna be like what? Paige versus Nikki? Because I really thought that what they were gonna do is let's do Fatal Influence versus the Bellas. The Bellas win with Twin Magic, and then the match that they wanna do is AJ and Paige versus Brie and Nikki. But now with Brie being injured, how much are those plans delayed? You know what I mean? Like, because you know that they're desperate to put the tag team titles on the Bellas. That is the only reason the Bellas have returned. They won the women's tag team titles. They were the ones advocating in 2015, in 2016, alongside Sasha and Bayley. Though the four of them were the ones advocating for women's tag team titles. So it just kind of feels like the beautiful people on TNA, where they were gonna put the belts on Velvet Sky and Angelina Love. Angelina had her visa issues, and then when they were gonna do it again, they did the angle between Angelina Love and Gunther, and left Velvet Sky without the knock. Like, the beautiful people should have been Knockouts Tag Team Champions. That's what I'm trying to say. And it feels kind of the same way with the Bellas, that something happens that they cannot get the belts on both of them. You know what I mean? Like, but hey, now let's get it going. Let's keep it going. Speedy recovery for Brie. Now I'm 1 from 3 on these predictions. Now we come here into Gunther versus Nick Aldis. I love how the presentation for Nick Aldis stayed exactly the same. You know, this match was about, can Nick Aldis still go? And he can still go. And as I stated before on the Liv versus Iyo match, when the match was reaching its climax and then start the falling resolution into an ending, the match stopped right there. Nick Aldis tapped and, you know, Gunther won, whatever, right? So, but the match that needed to end during the climax was this one. So this one was booked perfectly, because now you leave the fans asking for more of Nick Aldis instead of Liv versus Iyo, where the match was reaching a crescendo, a climax. You end it, which didn't make sense at all. On the semi-main event, so before the semi-main event of night 1, 2 from 4 in predictions. CM Punk defends the WWE title versus Cody Rhodes. These two guys Cody sold off the hell out of his shoulder. Punk sold the hell out of his leg. And I need to ask you something, ladies and gentlemen, before I start reviewing this match. Did CM Punk poop himself? Yes or no? Those are the real questions that need to be asked. Did CM Punk poop himself during the match? Because that is not a sweat stain. It's way too dark. Because sometimes when you sweat on colors like that, normally like you can see some skin. That is no skin. Let me tell you that much. And it kind of affected the match a little bit, because Cody was like trying not to get too close to the legs, which makes me think that he did poop himself. But hey, somebody asked CM Punk this question on Twitter. Please send this screenshot to him and ask him if he pooped himself. Because it sure looks like it. I mean, these two guys, This is what happens when you have two professionals that know what the fuck they're doing. Tony Khan missed this opportunity to have this match because in 2022 Tony Khan was a moron, and in some regards he's learning from some of his mistakes. Let's just say 25% of the mistakes he's made in the past. Now he knows how to deal with them. 75% of those mistakes keep happening. Maybe you need to flip those percentages to be a competent wrestling company. But I digress. This was an excellent match, and obviously, ref bump, and we were like, is it gonna be Kevin Owens? Is it gonna be Randy Orton? And sure enough, Randy Orton RKO's Cody Rhodes, GTS, 1, 2, 3, Punk retains the title. Man, the false finishes, the selling. I mean, the only thing that affected the match a little bit for me was this. Because, what the hell are you doing, my guy? Like, did you not go to the bathroom before the show started? Like, why are you eating like 3 hours before the show? Drink some water. I'd rather pee myself than poop myself, because at least peeing myself, I can pass it as, oh, it's sweat, because it's liquid. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, man, I don't want to talk about the main event of night one. It's Brock Lesnar versus Femi inside Hell in a Cell. They went 15 minutes. What they did was good. Femi wins. It's just that for Hell in a Cell, if you had said, oh, okay, this is going to be a no holds barred match, it would have been the same match. Like, I kind of feel like the Cell was just there for the aesthetic, for the picture, and the Cell was no factor in this match. Like, they didn't try to like grate each other like cheese against the Cell walls. Like, I don't understand it, and I understand that Brock is a guy that is very safe and doesn't want to risk injury, and I applaud him for that. But man, it's your last match. Go balls to the wall. The stipulation was, if you lose, you must retire. Go balls to the wall. You're gonna lose anyway. We know it. You're gonna retire. And obviously, there was a sweet moment after the match where, Brock Lesnar passed the torch to Femi, called himself the past, and called Oba the future. And that is how SummerSlam 2026 Night 1 from Minneapolis, Minnesota ended. I'm gonna give Night 1 a 6 out of 10. Because the Hell in a Cell match could have had another stipulation like a street fight, a no holds bar, and it would have been the exact same match. Because the Cell was not used not even one single time. The only bump that was outside the ring was, I think it was Brock Irish whipping Oba into the stairs, if I remember correctly, and that's it. That is it. Like, anyways, let's jump into night 2. The match that opened the show was a number 1 contenders match between Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. The winner of this match is going to be CM Punk's next challenger for the WWE Championship. And as the match is about to start, Nick Aldis comes out and makes it a triple threat match by adding Gunther. But then he says it's not a triple threat now, it's a fatal 4-way. And Kevin Owens comes out. Kevin Owens comes out to a standing ovation, and at that moment I'm like, yeah, he's gonna win. I remember I think I have Finn Balor winning here, but doesn't matter because neither Finn or Sami won, so my prediction was wrong. I actually thought that Kevin Owens was gonna help Sami in this match, not be part of the match. But there were a couple of bumps where I got kind of scared for Kevin, where I'm like, dude, do not get to the top rope. You're coming off neck surgery. Please be safe for at least a couple of months. Wait a couple of months before doing crazy shit. And he did not care. He did crazy shit. And a special moment during the match is when Sammy and Kevin hugged, and then they just started beating the hell out of each other. And we can see near the end of the match, Sammy is looking at Kevin. He's holding his neck. Sammy's like, I'm sorry, I have to do this. And he's going to hello back kick KO. He counters into the stunner. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens is the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. And guess what? It's perfect because, it's real. They do not get along. Because as we all know, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes are all pals of the Young Bucks, which if you really look at it, the opponents of CM Punk this year, Finn Balor, Cody, Sami, now KO, are all buddies with the Young Bucks, which I didn't know how you can be friends with them, because they are pieces of garbage as wrestlers, and they look like pricks too. So the only thing that I agree with the Young Bucks is the belief in God. That is it. Anything else are a bunch of morons. And the promos are gonna be awesome, and I hope they go into that. They got a little bit insider terms. Because they are really, both of them are really good at that, and the promos are gonna be really good. So I'm hoping for those promos. 3, and now I am 4 from 7. 4 from 7 in the predictions. Next matchup was Trick Williams defending the United States Championship against Baron Corbin. And, Baron Corbin is a veteran. He was just there, to help Trick showcase himself. And I need to say this, there was some stuff in this match where I was like, man, Trick doesn't know some details, and he needs to learn these details, because if they keep pushing him and does not learn those details in singles matches, people in the IWC are gonna treat him like Jey Uso during his world title reign, because you've seen now with the tag, and now that Jey is back with Jimmy as a tag team, you don't see those mistakes anymore. And because, as he said on Real Season 1, singles matches are not the same as tag team wrestling. It's a whole other piece of its own. You know what I mean? But yeah, Little Yachty was there. He missed his spot to hit Baron Corbin with the cane, where he was playing the crowd, missed his spot, made his cue. Baron Corbin was there like, Yachty, to hit him, and then he hit him with the cane. That spot looked horrible. Yachty, you need to be in position, you moron. And obviously, as we go near the finish, Baron is gonna hit Trick with the title. Yachty starts doing tug of war with Baron with the US title. Trick hits the trick shot on Baron Corbin. Baron bumps on Yachty. Yachty falls on the table, and the table did not break, which, that's gonna be on Botchamania, I am the table. And Baron Corbin takes advantage, hits him with the title. End of days, 1, 2, 3. Baron Corbin is the new United States champion. So I had Baron. I think I had. Did I have Baron Corbin winning? I do not remember. I think I had. So 5 from 8. Next up was the the Fatal 5-Way Ladder match for the interim Women's Championship, with Charlotte, Jade Cargill, Chelsea Green, the Women's US Champion Tiffany Stratton, and Lash Legend who qualified after squashing Julia on SmackDown. Since this graphic was made before SmackDown, I downloaded these graphics before SmackDown. That's why you see that silhouette, but it's Lash Legend who's there. So I mean, the match started with Jade and Charlotte beating the hell out of each other because of what the baddies did to Alexa. And I really liked Charlotte's robe when she came out, honoring her super fan that passed a couple months ago, where she had some sort of brain C word, because they said brain cancer, you know, like if YouTube flags the video for me saying the C word, whatever, but this needs to be talked about. I mean, man, like the tribute she gave that girl and her family, and how Charlotte paid, Charlotte alongside some wrestlers paid for the funeral of that girl shows how great of a human being Charlotte has been. And I really like how ever since Charlotte came back and the crowd turned on her after the Rumble in 2025 and she was a heel, and then they paired her up with Alexa, and her now being a baby face that the people are buying. The people are buying Charlotte now. Like the team with Alexa has worked. Charlexa has worked. And the match started, Lashley did some power moves. Tiffany power bomb against the ladder. Chelsea Green chokes him against the ladder, and as she's crawling, this made me laugh because as she's crawling away, the ladder falls on her, and she sells it like $1 million. So good job there, Chelsea. I mean, Lash Legend has some big spots here, like a sky high on Tiffany Stratton with a ladder being on the middle row, which looked painful, and I kind of got worried for Tiffy because I was like, please don't break your back. There was a spot here where Chelsea and Tiffy teamed up, and the people were clapping. They love these two together, and I really like how as Chelsea is about, let me just get to the finish because this is the best part of the match. Chelsea gets knocked out. She's hanging upside down on the ladder, knocked out. Jade, Charlotte, Lash, and Tiffy are on two separate ladders on the left and right of Chelsea Green's ladder, right? And Lash Legend and Tiffy fall. Tiffy sold it perfectly, but when Lash Legend was falling, she got scared of falling on the ropes, and it looked like crap. Like, Lash, fall on the ropes. Like, you need to sell it. Don't be scared of falling on the ropes. Like, if you are scared of taking bumps, get out of the business. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be scared to take bumps because you have a lot of potential in this women division, especially now that Mara Sadeh left TNA and may be on her way back to WWE, and they can reunite Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend and have Lash turn on Nia. Like, you are about to be on a big feud on the women's division against Nia. She's gonna put you over like $1 million like she did on NXT. She's gonna put you over again. Like, you cannot be this scared of falling from the top of a ladder. I mean, you should be scared, but sell it correctly, So Tiffy and Lash are out of the equation. Charlotte will slip because maybe they were gonna do like a double X Factor on each other, Jade and Charlotte. So they were gonna fall face first, but Charlotte slipped, and Jade had to go like follow Charlotte on the momentum, and it looked awful. But hey, that happens, and then you can hear the crowd, Chelsea, 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 Chelsea is like waking up. She's like, there's no one here. She gets out of the entanglement from the ladder. She starts climbing the ladder, and you could see as she's about to grab the title, she starts crying, grabs the title, unhangs it. Chelsea Green is your interim WWE Women's Champion, and all I have to say is Chelsea Green deserves it, and that's number one. And number two, Rhea Ripley has to come back as a heel. She cannot come back as a babyface. I'm telling you that much. She cannot come back as a babyface because the people are gonna turn on her. And I've said it on my and I've said it, like I hate this interim shit. I hate it in UFC. I hate it in AEW. I hate it in WWE. Because you wanna know what an interim champion is? It's a glorified number one contender. They give you a title so everybody remembers he or she or they are the number one contender for the title when the champ gets cleared to compete. What the But hey, personal feelings aside on the interim stuff, Chelsea Green deserves it, and she should beat Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley should come back as a heel. Like, Rhea Ripley has to come back as a heel. Like, she cannot come back as a babyface because people are gonna boo her out of the building. Like, that match may have... Do you know how people turn on Rocky Maivia when he beat Triple H for the IC title on February of '97? It's like, it's gonna be that same way. Instead of beep, Rocky, beep, it's gonna be beep, Rhea, beep. You know what I mean? Like, unalive yourself, Rhea, unalive yourself. That's what they're gonna scream. Instead of unalive yourself, Rocky, unalive yourself. She has to come back as a heel. She has to. Like, the crowd is gonna turn on her like people did in 2010 with John Cena. When all the men turned on her and only the women and little kids were cheering for him, which is the same thing that happened to Shawn Michaels in 1996. If you see a title reign, all the men were booing him, just like John Cena from 2010 to 2015, because he's more handsome than every guy on the fucking arena in the stands, and they know their wives would cheat on them with John. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to understand this. Rhea has to come back as a heel because all the men are gonna boo her, and the kids, and you already have somebody for the girls, because Tiffany, the reason Tiffany has not turned heel is because she moves merch for the kids, especially the girls. She right now has taken Bianca Belair's spot on the babyface bracket. Like, she's literally the number one babyface right now in the division on both brands, because I count NXT as different division, right? Because it's developmental. If we are talking about NXT, number one is Kendall Gray. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, that's why Tiffany has not turned heel. She's like the number one babyface in the division right now. Because Bagger's out, Rhea's out. Like, Tiffany is the number one babyface in the entire division. So I think Rhea should come back as a heel. And I think she should be like teaming up with Blake Monroe to try and take it to take on Tiffy and Chelsea. You know what I mean? Because that is the feud they're building, Blake and Tiffy and Blake. And and I really love how on the post show she dedicated her win to Michael Hayes, which if you watch Unreal Season 2, you know. The human Monies on a pole match. Danhausen won. That's all I have to say. And the dwarves were fun. The Minneapolis were fun. And that's it. Dominik did not give a damn when he came out. He was like, he'd rather be anywhere else than in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If he could walk out on the company on that very moment, he would have. That's all I have to say about this match. Now the semi-main event of night 2. Penta versus Chad Gable, IC Championship, Intercontinental Championship. Chad Gable has been chasing this title for 3 years. Would this be the night? Yes, it was the night. Chad Gable makes Penta tap, and his family comes to the ring. He's celebrating. Penta raises his hand, puts the title around his waist. He leaves the ring to give Chad his moment. This match was very good, but it had the same problem that Liv versus Iyo had. It had the same problem where, introduction, rising action, climax. When you're reaching that climax, the turning point, the match is over. Like there was no falling action, no ending. And those are the two matches that I feel if you had given them 5 more minutes, this match would have been remembered as some of the best in SummerSlam history. But they won't. Now the main event, World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins, the final chapter. Just like Marvel Spider-Man 3 is gonna be the final chapter in Insomniac Spider-Man story. This match was excellent. That's all I have to say. You see, Roman's storytelling is on another level. Nobody can tell a story in the ring just like Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I really like how they pay homage to John Moxley with the Dirty Deeds. I was watching it with the Spanish commentary, and Marcelo Rodriguez should have been fired back in 2012. He's such a bad commentator. Like, how can you be the play-by-play commentator and be the heel commentator? That is some 2011 Michael Cole shit that people changed the channel. That's why they had to turn Michael Cole babyface a year later, because they were watching the ratings decline. And if you see this, and if you got in for like I do, when people watch Raw on Netflix, do you want to know what is the least listened commentary? It's the Spanish commentary, because Marcelo Rodriguez and Jerry Soto suck. They should be fired. How do you confuse the Dirty Deeds with the pedigree? It's unfathomable to me. That's why I had to go back and watch it with the English commentary on Disney Plus, because I was like, oh, at least they call it on the English commentary, they call it either the Dirty Deeds or the Paradigm Shift, which is the correct name. And I really like how, man, the growth of Roman's character from heel to face on the finish was awesome, because he saw the ref down and he went for a chair. He's looking that Seth is getting up. He's looking at the chair. He's thinking about hitting Seth. But then he remembers WrestleMania 40. Giving Seth Rollins the shirt shot and not giving it to Cody cost him the title. Cost him 1,316 days. So he throws the chair to the side and tells Seth, I'm gonna beat you right in the middle of the ring, fair and square. And spear, one final spear, pedigrees, to honor, as I jokingly put in my notes, the fifth member of the Shield. Sorry. As I put in my notes as a joke, honoring the fifth member of the Shield, Triple H. Because you know that Kurt Angle teamed up with them back in TLC 2017 when Roman got that meningitis back in 2017, and he was out for a month. So they had Kurt Angle fill in for Roman in that TLC match against the Miz, Taraj, Braun Strowman, and Kane. And on a house show, Triple H came out with the Shield attire. So that's why I put they didn't honor. I put it as a joke, obviously. They did not honor the fourth member of the show, Kurt Angle, but honored the fifth member, Triple H. What a bunch of ass kissers to the boss. That's what I put in my notes. And really the important thing is what happened after the match. Roman and Seth throw a fist bump. You know that during Seth's entrance, he came out with a Shield mask. They put it in the middle of them. They put the mask between the two of them, and they did the fist bump. Obviously, the Shield mask is representing Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, who's now in AEW, and SummerSlam faded to black. So let's see. I had 5, 6, 7 out of 12 matches correctly predicted. Which is like 58% of correct answers, which for a prediction show is pretty good. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Remember, if you like this type of content, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Cherish beautiful moments with your families. Create beautiful memories, because life's too short, but those memories will last a lifetime. As always, this is Anthony signing off. Bye.